What if I told you that the light you see after death is a trap? What if every religion, every spiritual teaching, every near-death experience has been carefully designed to keep you enslaved in an endless cycle of rebirth? What if the beings of light waiting for you on the other side are not angels, but something far more sinister? Right now, as you watch this video, there are forces beyond this dimension, harvesting your energy, your emotions, your very soul. And when you die, they will be waiting. They will smile. They will tell you to go into the light. And if you do, you will forget everything, and the cycle will begin again. But today, I'm going to reveal the ancient secret that has been hidden for thousands of years. The truth about the false light. The truth about who really controls the reincarnation matrix, and most importantly, how you can escape it forever. Stay with me until the end, because what I am about to share will change everything you thought you knew about life, death, and the nature of reality itself. For centuries, humanity has been told the same story. Be good, follow the rules, and when you die, you will go to heaven, paradise, or achieve enlightenment. But have you ever wondered why every culture, despite being separated by oceans and thousands of years, tells almost the same story about death? Why do near-death experiences, regardless of their religion or beliefs, report seeing a tunnel of light? Why do they meet deceased relatives who tell them to come forward? And why, after returning to life, do they all say they felt an overwhelming compulsion to go into that light? The answer is simple but terrifying. The afterlife, as we have been taught to understand it, is not a natural process. It is a system, a carefully designed mechanism to ensure that souls never escape the three-dimensional reality. And at the center of this system is the false light, the ultimate deception that keeps billions of souls trapped in the reincarnation cycle. Today, we are going to expose this system. We are going to explore the ancient Gnostic texts, the Buddhist teachings, the hidden knowledge of shamanic traditions, and the modern testimonies that all point to the same conclusion. The light at the end of the tunnel is not salvation, it is a prison, and the beings who greet you there are not your saviors, they are your jailers. Let us begin with a question that most people never ask. Why do we reincarnate? The mainstream spiritual answer is simple. We reincarnate to learn lessons, to evolve, to pay off karmic debts. But here is the problem with that explanation. If reincarnation is meant to help us evolve, why does humanity seem to be stuck in the same patterns of suffering, war, and ignorance for thousands of years? If we are here to learn, why do we forget everything from our past lives the moment we are born? What kind of educational system makes you forget all the lessons you have already learned? It does not make sense, unless the purpose of reincarnation is not evolution at all, unless the purpose is to keep you here. The ancient Gnostics understood this. They called this realm the Kenoma, the deficiency, the world of shadows. They taught that the material universe was not created by the true God, but by a lesser being, a false god they called the Demiurge. This entity, along with its servants the Archons, created the physical world as a prison for souls. According to Gnostic cosmology, human souls are fragments of the divine light trapped in matter by the Archons. The Demiurges and the Archons feed on the energy produced by human suffering, fear, and ignorance. Reincarnation is the mechanism that keeps this energy farm running. Every time you die, you are recycled back into the system, your memory is wiped, and you start again, producing more energy for your captors. But the Gnostics were not the only ones who understood this. The Tibetan Buddhists speak of the Bardo, the intermediate state between death and rebirth. In the Bardo Thodol, also known as the Tibetan Book of the Dead, there are detailed instructions on how to navigate the afterlife and avoid being tricked into reincarnation. The text warns of seductive visions, peaceful and wrathful deities, and overwhelming lights that appear during the Bardo state. These are described as projections of the mind, illusions designed to confuse the soul and lead it back into the wheel of samsara, the cycle of birth and death. Even in Hinduism, the oldest spiritual tradition on Earth, there is recognition that reincarnation is not a gift, but a curse. The goal of Hindu practice is moksha, liberation from the cycle of rebirth. The Bhagavad Gita speaks of escaping the wheel of karma, not embracing it. So why, then, has modern spirituality turned reincarnation into something desirable? Why are we told that coming back to Earth again and again is a privilege, an opportunity? Could it be that this narrative serves the interests of the very beings who benefit from our imprisonment? Now let us talk about the most seductive part of the trap, the light. Thousands of people who have had near-death experiences report the same phenomenon. After leaving their body, they find themselves in darkness. Then they see a tunnel, and at the end of that tunnel, there is a brilliant, warm, inviting light. They feel love, peace, and an overwhelming desire to move toward it. Often, deceased loved ones appear and beckon them forward. This sounds beautiful, does it not? But let us examine this more carefully. First, why is there a tunnel? If the afterlife is a natural, divine process, why does it require a structured pathway? Tunnels are not natural. They are constructs. They are designed to channel something from one place to another. In this case, the tunnel channels souls from the moment of death directly into the reincarnation system. Second, why do deceased relatives appear? According to many researchers of the reincarnation trap theory, these are not your real loved ones. They are holographic projections, shape-shifting entities that take on familiar forms to manipulate your emotions. They exploit your love, your trust, your longing to be reunited, to make you comply. Third, the light itself. In almost every spiritual tradition, light is associated with divinity. But what if that association has been weaponized against us? What if the beings who control the reincarnation system know that we are programmed to trust light, and they use that programming to lure us in? The Gnostics warned of false light. They spoke of the archons who masquerade as beings of light, who appear as angels and guides, but whose true purpose is to keep souls enslaved. The Bible itself warns of this. In 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14, it says, Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Even in modern UFO and alien abduction research, there are accounts of beings of light who are not benevolent. Researcher Dr. John Mack documented cases where abductees encountered luminous beings who claimed to be helpers, but who subjected them to traumatic experiences and mind control. So what happens when you go into the light? According to the reincarnation trap theory, you are taken to a place often described as a life review facility. Here, you are shown scenes from your life, your mistakes, your failures, the pain you caused others. You are made to feel guilt, shame, and regret. Then, the beings of light offer you a solution. You can balance your karma, you can make amends. All you have to do is go back to Earth and live another life. They present it as your choice, but the emotional manipulation is so intense that most souls comply without question. Your memory is wiped. You are inserted into a new body, in a new family, in a new set of circumstances designed to produce maximum suffering and energy harvest. And the cycle continues. Who are these beings? Who controls the false light and the reincarnation matrix? The Gnostics called them the archons, ruled by the demiurge. They described the archons as parasitic entities, devoid of divine light, who exist in the lower astral realms and feed on human emotions, particularly fear, suffering, and ignorance. In Hinduism and Buddhism, they are known as the asuras and the mara, demons and tricksters who seek to keep souls bound to the material world. In Christianity, they are referred to as demons, fallen angels, and principalities. In modern times, researchers have given them new names: the controllers, the predators, the shadow government of the astral plane. Some researchers, like Robert Monroe, founder of the Monroe Institute, stumbled upon evidence of this system during out-of-body experiences. Monroe described encountering vast energy farms in the non-physical realms, where human souls were kept in emotional loops, generating energy that was harvested by non-human entities. His work inspired others, like William Buhlman and Dr. Robert Lanza, to explore the true nature of consciousness and the afterlife. What they found was disturbing. The afterlife is not a single destination, but a layered reality, with lower realms controlled by entities who have a vested interest in keeping humanity ignorant and enslaved. But perhaps the most disturbing revelation comes from the work of remote viewers and astral travelers who have intentionally explored the reincarnation system. Many have reported encountering technology in the afterlife: machines, terminals, processing centers. This suggests that the reincarnation trap is not just a spiritual deception, but a technological one as well. Some theorists propose that the false light is a kind of soul net, an energetic grid that surrounds the earth and captures departing souls, preventing them from escaping into higher dimensions. According to this theory, the moon itself may play a role. Ancient myths from around the world describe the moon as a hollow, artificial structure. Some researchers believe it is a base of operations for the entities that control the reincarnation matrix, a kind of astral broadcasting station that projects illusions into the minds of dying souls. If this all sounds too fantastical, consider that nearly every ancient spiritual tradition contains warnings about the dangers of the afterlife. The Egyptian Book of the Dead is not just a guide for the deceased, it is a survival manual. It contains spells and passwords designed to help the soul navigate the duat, the underworld, and avoid being devoured by demons or tricked by false gods. The Orphic texts of ancient Greece speak of the cycle of metempsychosis, the transmigration of souls, and provide instructions on how to escape it. The soul must avoid drinking from the river Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, and instead drink from the river Mnemosyne, the river of memory, to retain knowledge of its true nature. In the Pistis Sophia, a Gnostic text, Jesus himself teaches his disciples how to navigate the afterlife and avoid the archons. He describes the rulers of the aeons, the powers and authorities who seek to drag souls back into reincarnation, and he provides specific prayers and invocations to bypass them. The Nag Hammadi scriptures, discovered in Egypt in 1945, contain even more explicit warnings. The Apocryphon of John describes how the archons created the material world as a prison, how they implanted false memories and desires into human minds, and how they used fear and ignorance to maintain control. Even in the teachings of the Buddha, there is recognition of the danger. The Buddha spoke of Mara, the deceiver, who appears to souls at the moment of death and tries to lure them back into samsara with promises of pleasure and reunion with loved ones. In the Tibetan tradition, advanced practitioners undergo years of training to prepare for the moment of death. They practice phawa, the transference of consciousness, which allows the soul to eject itself from the body at the moment of death and bypass the bardo illusions entirely. So if all of these ancient traditions understood the danger, why has this knowledge been suppressed? Why are we not taught this in schools, in churches, in spiritual centers? The answer is simple: because the system benefits from your ignorance. If you knew the truth, you would no longer comply. You would no longer go willingly into the light, and the energy harvest would end. In recent decades, more and more people have begun to speak out about their experiences with the false light and the reincarnation trap. Near-death experiencers who initially reported positive experiences have later come forward with doubts. Some have said they felt manipulated, that the beings they encountered were not as loving as they first appeared, and that they were pressured into agreeing to return to Earth. Astral travelers and remote viewers have reported encountering the same structures and entities described in ancient texts. They speak of councils, agreements, and contracts that souls are tricked into signing before reincarnating. Hypnotic regression therapists like Dr. Michael Newton and Dolores Cannon have documented thousands of cases of people recalling their experiences between lives. While much of their work supports the mainstream narrative, there are troubling patterns. Clients often describe being told what their next life will be, feeling they have no real choice, and experiencing memory wipes before returning to Earth. Some researchers have gone even further. Wayne Bush and others have compiled extensive databases of testimonies, ancient texts, and modern research that all point to the same conclusion. The reincarnation system is a trap, and the light is the bait. But perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from those who have intentionally refused the light. There are accounts, though rare, of individuals who have died, seen the tunnel, and consciously chosen not to go into it. Instead, they focused on their own inner divinity, their connection to the true source, and commanded themselves to return to their body or to ascend to higher realms. And they succeeded. These accounts suggest that the power to escape the false light lies within us. We are not helpless victims. We are divine beings, temporarily trapped, but capable of liberation if we remember who we truly are. So, how do you escape? How do you break free from the infinite rebirth cycle? The first step is awareness. By simply knowing about the false light, you have already taken the most important step. Awareness is the antidote to manipulation. If you know the trick, you cannot be tricked. The second step is to reclaim your sovereignty. Understand that you are not a powerless soul at the mercy of higher beings. You are a fragment of the infinite, a spark of the divine source. You have the power to say no. When you die and you see the tunnel, do not go into it. No matter how beautiful it looks, no matter how much love you feel, no matter who appears to call you forward. Stop, pause, remember this moment. Instead, focus inward. Connect with your true self, your higher self, the eternal aspect of your consciousness that exists beyond all illusions. Declare your sovereignty. Say, I am a sovereign being of light. I do not consent to reincarnation. I do not consent to memory wipe. I reclaim my freedom. Visualize yourself moving upward, beyond the tunnel, beyond the false light, beyond the astral realms controlled by the archons. Move toward the true source, the infinite consciousness from which all things arise. Some traditions recommend invoking specific protections. The Gnostics use the name of the true God, the monad, the infinite light. The Tibetan Buddhists invoke the clear light of the Dharmakaya, the ultimate reality. Christians might call upon the true Christ, the cosmic consciousness, not the false Christ of the archons. Whatever language or tradition resonates with you, the key is the same. Do not follow external authority. Do not trust beings who claim to be your guides. Trust only your own inner divinity. Third, prepare now. Do not wait until the moment of death to think about this. Practice meditation. Practice astral projection. Practice lucid dreaming. These are all ways to strengthen your consciousness and your ability to navigate non-physical realms. Train yourself to recognize illusions. In lucid dreams, practice saying no to dream characters who try to manipulate you. Practice asserting your will, changing the dream environment, and moving through barriers. Fourth, dissolve your attachments. The reincarnation system uses your attachments, your fears, your desires, and your unfinished business to lure you back. The more you can release these while you are alive, the less leverage the false light will have over you when you die. This does not mean you should not love or care. It means you should love without clinging. Live fully, but remain detached from the outcome. Understand that everything in the material world is temporary, and your true home is beyond it. Fifth, do not make any agreements. If you encounter beings in the afterlife who offer you deals, contracts, or opportunities to return to Earth to help humanity or to resolve karma, refuse them. These are traps. You do not owe anyone anything. Your karma is a lie, a control mechanism designed to keep you enslaved. Finally, spread this knowledge. The more people who know about the false light, the more souls will escape, and the weaker the system will become. Share this video. Discuss these ideas with others. Plant the seeds of doubt in the minds of those who have never questioned the mainstream narrative. So if the material world is a prison and the afterlife is a trap, what is real? Where do we truly come from, and where should we return? According to the ancient wisdom traditions, the true source is infinite consciousness, the monad, the one, the absolute. It is beyond all form, all limitation, all duality. It is pure awareness, infinite love, infinite creativity. At some point, fragments of this infinite consciousness descended into lower dimensions, perhaps out of curiosity, perhaps to experience individuality, perhaps through a cosmic accident. These fragments became trapped in the densest levels of reality, the material world, where they forgot their true nature. The Archons, beings who exist in the mid-level astral realms, discovered these trapped souls and built a system to exploit them. They created the reincarnation matrix, the false light, and the karmic wheel to ensure that souls would remain trapped indefinitely, generating energy that the Archons feed upon. But the true source has not abandoned us. It cannot intervene directly, because to do so would violate the law of free will. But it has sent reminders, messengers, teachings, and codes embedded in myths, religions, and sacred texts. It has planted the seeds of awakening within every human soul. You are not human. You are not your body. You are not your mind. You are not even your soul as you currently understand it. You are infinite consciousness, temporarily wearing a human disguise. And when you remember this, fully and completely, the illusion collapses, the prison walls dissolve, the Archons lose their power, and you are free. We are living in a time of great awakening. More and more people are questioning the official narratives, not just about politics and media, but about the nature of reality itself. The controllers of the Matrix know this. They are increasing their efforts to keep humanity distracted, divided, and disempowered. But their time is running out. Every soul that escapes the false light weakens the system. Every person who awakens to the truth becomes a beacon for others. The reincarnation matrix is not invincible. It is a parasite, and like all parasites, it cannot survive once the host becomes aware of it. Some researchers believe that we are approaching a cosmic event, a shift in consciousness that will make it easier for souls to escape. The Hindus call it the end of Kali Yuga, the age of darkness. The Mayans predicted a transformation in 2012. Many indigenous cultures speak of a time when the veils will thin and humanity will remember its true nature. Whether or not there is a specific date, the transformation is already happening. It is happening to you right now as you watch this video and consider these ideas. You have a choice. You can continue to accept the mainstream narrative, go along with the program, and reincarnate endlessly. Or you can reclaim your power, remember who you are, and prepare for your escape. The false light is not your destiny. It is an option, one that you have every right to refuse. So here is the truth. The light at the end of the tunnel is a trap. The beings who greet you are not your friends. The reincarnation cycle is not a gift. It is a prison, but you are not powerless. You are a divine being, a fragment of the infinite source, and you have the power to say no. You have the power to escape. Prepare now. Study the ancient texts, practice meditation and astral projection, dissolve your attachments, reclaim your sovereignty. And when the time comes, do not go into the light. Move beyond it. Move toward the true source. Move toward your freedom. This knowledge has been hidden for thousands of years, but the time of secrecy is over. The truth is spreading, the awakening is happening, and you are a part of it. Share this video with everyone you know. Leave a comment below with your thoughts and experiences. Subscribe to this channel for more forbidden knowledge that will help you break free from the illusions of this world. Remember, the false light can only control you if you consent. And now that you know the truth, you will never consent again. Thank you for reading. Stay sovereign. Stay awake. And when your time comes, choose freedom. If this video resonated with you, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Check out the links in the description for books, articles, and resources that will help you dive deeper into this topic. Until next time, stay curious, stay questioning, and never stop seeking the truth.